Just recently, I took part of the craziest disc golf tournament in Estonia. A disc golf tournament with 100 baskets, 10 hours of game time, and 21 kilometers of walking. This is Järvajani 100. We played at the lake, we played at open fields, we played inside of abandoned buildings, and of course we played in the local course. And I played it and I videotaped everything. After 50 holes played, I was finding myself in my division tied at 21st position. +7 wasn't the dream start I was hoping for, but considering the extreme winds and most of the holes until so far have been in open, it wasn't actually that bad. But it was about to get more difficult from here, because at some point I will get tired, at some point I will be playing in open fields again, at some point I'm going to play the difficult local course. Come and join me in the back 50 of this marathon. So we are back with the back 50 of this marathon, and we're going to start off part 2 with hole 64. Because if you didn't watch the part 1, you know I didn't start on hole 1. On this hole the road was OB, but it's a really straightforward hole, and you can see my drive was pretty decent, but my putt was not. So it continues. Hole 65, road OB. The basket is tucked in between the Christmas trees, and yeah, the plan was to go high and wide, but yeah, the plan didn't work out, so it went inside and have to collect it. Now this is a really interesting hole. This is a hole that will be really good one in any course in the world. That was shanked to the right because the hole is actually straightforward from that tee, and you can see where I landed, and the wind was affecting that a little bit, but it was generally a bad one. We can see, yeah, I made it, so I don't miss all my putts. And hole 67, also really good hole, but yeah, I remember correctly, I didn't go wide enough. The shot was really nice, as you can see, but needed to go a little bit more wide. The putt again, like the footing was interesting. Hole 68, I love this one. The basket is on top of the hill, and watch now what is going to happen. I landed there and it rolled down. It was a little bit blocking the roll, but you can see on the right side it rolled all the way on this spot. In my mind I was running that, but yeah. Let's move on. And here we can see actually a preview of hole 100. The other guys were playing it, but we're playing hole 69, everybody's favorite number. The basket is tucked inside the forest trees, and I remember correctly, I think I was a little bit short. You see the other guys, Ragnar was a little bit shorter more, Edu was short a little bit more. You can see my orange disc at his feet, and he got it. So it was me, the branches everywhere, little tree branches, so yeah. I'm not going to say anything. Hole 70, straightforward hole, little fairway in front of you, but you have to hit the gap though. And hole 71, everybody's nightmare. This is the fairway. This is the fairway. And I kicked to the right side. There was a simple hyzer from there to the basket and continue. Hole 72, 120 meters is this one. You can see I was a little bit technically not the best shot of my life, but it missed all the trees. That was around 100-meter throw, and yeah. Hole 73, the open field holes, and we actually in the background you can see the forest. This is where the local course is. I didn't hold the hat because the throw was so bad. It was the wind. I felt the wind was pushing the hat away from me. And hole 74, basically copy paste from the last hole. Only thing is there's no OBs here. It was way too low. So yeah, didn't reach it. And basically hole 1 of the World Last there, we're playing the green layout. I hit my gap perfectly, but I think the tiredness was slowly ticking in because that throw was overturned like so much, way too much. And here we can see an example of Siri. That throw was probably the best of the group, to be honest with you, because we all of us, and also in that little hut where my disc went, there was a coffee break. You could buy a little bit of coffee, and I really love this off the hand, but it leaked a little bit to the left, but it's fine. Here we can see it's a nice upshot to the basket, and that should be a simple putt from 5 meters. There it is, nothing too difficult, and we can move on to the next hole from the bridge, hole 77. And yeah, a little bit early release. You can see it had the power, but yeah, the trees kicked it and it was OB. On this hole, previous times in the local league, I've been having issues. If you've been watching my vlog, then you know, but so I wanted to play as safe as possible. It worked perfectly with the t-shirt, but not with the approach, because this one was long and long OB. So that's an OB4. And yeah, this one actually, if I remember correctly, the danger here actually is the right side OB. In local league, when you play the green out, this is a par 4, but in this tournament it was par 3. This is my par, and that was just lazy. There's no excuse, pure laziness, and you can see the disappointment in that walk. And this hole, I think I hit my gap perfectly. It was high enough, but I think the wind, you can see it killed it a little bit towards the end. So it was a little bit short. At least it stayed at the basket. At least it stayed at the basket. So here the danger is left side, which is OB as well, if I remember correctly. But it went to the right. It was complete shank. I've never been in this position, so I didn't know what to do. So I took the same disc, and actually I was very close of making it. It was probably like 1 meter away. And hole 82, this is where I love it. But usually I use a mid-range, but I felt the tiredness, so I used the driver. As you can see, I went a little bit long. And yeah, look at my right feet. There was a weird little hole there, so I wasn't able to do my complete swing with my putting, but it still went in. So maybe I should have learned from that and actually keep on doing the same swing I just managed to do. And this was actually perfect. You can't see it landing, but it was a perfect line. This is where it landed, meaning it was just a tiny bit too high. Oh no. Yeah, look at my hat. Yeah. There was no wind at this point. I hit the fairway perfectly, but it was just a little bit too high, so I hit the branches. And I was the only one hitting the gap perfectly, and I was the furthest away from the pin. And with my approach shot, once I saw this, I was like, oh, why I didn't do this? Why did I try like stepping and with the backhand? I should have done with the sidearm, because I know the hole is easier over there. This was lucky it went through all the trees, because that was a shank too, but it didn't go OB, but it landed here. So here I was actually thinking for a really long time what to do, because it's the basket is right behind the trees. I was thinking maybe I should go like this. I was like, the wind is probably going to push it OB where the other guys are, so but decided to go like this, but it stuck behind my finger and almost killed our caddy. And this was in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm going to run this, but it was halfway run, so yeah. And this was actually a good putt. That was a really good putt. I'm really glad about that one. You can really see the disc, but you can see my reaction. It was really close, hitting it a little bit short. This was not short, this was high. What can you do? And the horseshoe hole, this is where the other guys are from our capital city, Tallinn, so they didn't know this one. I was like, okay, let me show you how it goes. And I executed it perfectly. You're going to see where I landed. I went a little bit long, but that's the best tee shot I've ever had. This is where I landed. And yeah, I missed it. It happens. You can't really blame me for missing this. It's an okay miss to make on the putting green. As you can see, there's so many trees. But after this basket, we had finished 74 holes of our marathon of 100. So we had 26 to go. And I already knew that the trickiest part is actually over. From here, the holes get a little bit easier. But in the same time, I had to remind myself, the open holes have a lot of wind. So there's still some bogeys to collect. But at this point I was plus 15, and in my division I was tied for 29th position. So hole 88, and if you haven't subscribed, then this is the easiest way, the most free, and it's free. You can just like and subscribe, leave a comment. It will help out the channel to grow a little bit more. And if you want me to help me to get more equipment to make even better videos, even more videos, and then just sign up for my Patreon. It's simple, and through my Patreon you can talk to me via Patreon chat and everything. The app is really easy to use, and we're still playing at the local course. This actually stayed inbounds, so you can see the orange disc is left side of the sticks, and the other guy said he hit actually the stick because the disc shot, it was way too high. I didn't execute it perfectly. Here I had the 3 limbs in front of me, so I went low power shot, but it was long. I went 15 meters long and I had to take a meter from the OB, and once again saved my OB bogey. Hole 90, yeah. The wind, you can see sidearm and faded to the left. The wind killed that shot so much. And yeah, the approach shot, I think the power I put on it was actually perfect, but you can see I missed my line a little bit. And left side is OB, and you can actually go long on B. You can see the sticks. You can see I was pin high. I touched the chains, but it was tickle touch. So this is a little bit change of the regular course. This is yellow layout T, but the basket is on the field because this hole was turned into 2 holes. So from here I didn't have any choice, just trying to get the roller as far as possible. Yeah, I just wanted to hit any gap and just get out of from the trees. And this is all ready for the bogey. I just turned before the basket, so it is what it is. And this was actually pretty decent. Needed to be a little bit more to the right and hit the stone and kick back inbounds. You can see me laughing, it was so funny. Oh, I laughed maybe too much. And I can take my meter to get more closer to the basket and don't put my feet inside the OB line when I'm putting. And this is really makeable. This is really makeable. And I didn't make it. And we are moving on. Hole 93, OB on the right, OB on the left. That was a misrelease, but I was surprised I got so much distance from that bad shot. So in my mind I was running this, but you can see me laughing because it was such a bad one. But this was a crazy putt because there was no line. I just tossed it up and it went in. Well, it happens. At least I got one back. So hole 94 is an open hole where we have a lake, artificial lake in front of the basket. I had a tailwind, so I took my most unstable disc and I was hoping to get to the basket because this disc really flies well when you have a tailwind. But like you could see, even with the tailwind, it didn't turn back. That run was really nice. Kind of sad it didn't go in. Hole 95 is the last hole of the Willasted Discgolf course. And that was actually really well done. I was really happy with that throw, but from here you can't really see. And it landed perfectly here. So that's another birdie chance. And I got it. That was a really nice one. Hole 96 is the one I was practicing before in the last vlog, and I was deciding everything gone so bad, I'm going to go for it. Even though I felt the tiredness, the draw was actually good, and you can see my happiness from that one. And yeah, it was pin high, and yep. Okay, let's forget about it. Hole 97, 80 meters up the hill. It was a good draw, but the wind kind of was right to left on this one. I look at the grass, you can see the wind. And on this one I putted with a zone, and I told Ragnar, I'm aiming at you, be ready, and it almost worked out. So hole 98, that was a really nice drive from Edu. And for myself, yep. Well, at least it was in the open, so approach shot to this place and chain out again. So hole 99, I really love this hole as well. The specifics about it, you can attack it many ways, but high iso with the backhand for me is the best option. And one of the draws I did on this one is actually technically really well. I heard the snap really well, but I didn't put it high enough. I hit the gap perfectly, but you need to hit the gap, but you need to be high as well. Because if you're not high enough, it's going to go long. As you can see from my disc here, that's my purple zone. And yeah, another birdie run. And too high. I think this is the moment I started putting too high everywhere. And I think it's because of the tiredness. You try to compensate it. This was the hole-in-one hole. Look at that roll away. And yeah, everybody was running it. Because if you get the hole-in-one on this one, you will get a basket as a gift. So I love this putt from Edu, even though it didn't go in. Later he was saying he should have done on one knee, just was too lazy. And he got punished because the height difference is really well. The view was amazing though. And hole number 1, all the other side, you have to go through the parking lot. That was more than 100 meters. And it almost went in. It almost went in from Edu. For me, yeah, I was like, I can reach it easy. Just need to hit the gap. And I didn't hit the gap. I did not. So, yep. So approach shot. This was the best approach shot I can't remember because it was right under the basket. It was executed perfectly. And yeah, Siri still is doing her things. And we're going to move on. Hole 2, up the hill. The basket is on the level up there. I didn't zoom in on this one because you can't really see. It went a little bit to the right side, but it's in the putting range. You can see it's around 6 or 7 meters. And yeah, straddle putts, I hate those. If you have played with me, then you know I hate those, but I got one go in, you know. Making a putt like that is like making an outside circle putt for me. Hole 3 was a CTP contest for a toothbrush. You can see on the right side the little sign CTP Rada, means CTP basket. And check this out now. Boom! And spit out. The reaction from Edu is warranted. Why didn't it stay in? and I had to throw after that. I didn't put it flat enough. I had the distance, but it didn't put flat and hit the pole. It was on the line. That spot, the ground was really soft, and you can see Edu, nice throw. I think it went a little bit long. I tried to play it more safe, so I went low with the skip shot. It skipped really nicely, just too much to the right. You can see another 6 or 7 meter putt. Edu is collecting the birdie, really nicely done. And I think this was the point where I discovered that my memory card was starting to get full, so I had to be a little bit careful what I was filming and what I was not. That went too much inside. There's really no danger, no OB, just the trees. You have to hit the fairway, and the basket is on the right side, around 65 to 70 meters off the tee here. I wanted to keep this in. This was a little bit shank, but it went through everything, and he was pin high on the left side. And yeah, this hole, in my mind, when I reached this hole, I thought, oh no, I'm going to lose a disc. So when I was throwing, this was going through my mind, hit the branch, faded to the left. I didn't lose the disc. And we're going to see my birdie attempt. Again, on the line perfectly, but just too short. Hole 7, OB is the water, and there's a mando tree, so you have to follow the pathway just in front of you. And I missed the mando. That first tree, it missed. It was the mando. So here we see everybody checking what I have to do. I went to the drop zone, and that was not the drop zone. That was already drop zone shot done, because the drop zone was next to the mando tree. Hole 8, really straightforward 80 meter hole. Was almost perfect, almost perfect. Touched the branches, lost the turn and faded to the left. Otherwise it was almost perfect. And too high again. But hole number 9. This is crazy because you can't go too much off the hyzer, because those three trees on the right side are going to kill it. So I need to go straight. And I was inbounds. You can see my happiness. I was inbounds because on the left side there was water as well. That was out of bounds as well. So it's really narrow fairway all the way, 75 meters around. And I got the birdie. So I was really happy about it. You can see me flexing. That was interesting. So hole 10, the wind was weird, so I decided to play it safe. On the left side there was a really long way to the water, so I played it safe. And hole 11, yeah, the water was on my mind too much, and I played it too safe. And here's after my upshot from the bushes, and yeah, that was a bad putt. Hole 12 was a weird one around the corner, but this is a good point to remind everybody, like and subscribe. It's going to help the channel a lot. If you like what I do, please help me out. And if you want to help me even more, you can join my Patreon and help me raise some money to buy some new equipment, which is also always needed. So the last hole, hole 13, to the playground. The basket is inside the playground. We're going to see it soon. And let me see who is next. Siri had a really nice shot. I think we're going to show you every person. Yeah, this is Edu. Edu's shot, you can see he didn't put too much on it because it was, I think it was 65 meters or something like that. But it went so long, he was shocked how long it went. And this should be me with my mid-range. And I got stuck with my pivoting leg again. You can see me limping. This was time number 3 when that happened in this marathon. And with the putts, this is Siri. And we already know what she can do. Doesn't mean she's going to make it. Ooh, almost. And this is me. And this putt is going to summarize my tournament. And with that amazing spit out, which was probably a little bit to the right, my marathon has come to an end. Obviously it didn't work out the way I wanted, but to be honest with you, it was really fun. Like you can see from this table, it was more than 20 kilometers of walking and it was more than 10 hours. Sadly, I forgot to turn off the tracker just after we finished on this hole, so you can see a little bit car ride in it, but generally you get the picture. The map of the entire walking distance looked like this, and if you put into perspective, it is crazy and it was fun. Now when I think about it, it wasn't fun when I was playing though, especially those speed outs, but it is what it is. What can you do? So I finished my division in position number 30. With plus 20, I wasn't super happy with it, but I'm happy I played. Especially I was happy I played with Siri, Edu and Ragnar. With you guys, you made it so much fun, and thank you for playing with me. Hope to see you next time. Have a beautiful day. Bye bye bye.